Hi, it's Debbie from Create Pretty Things and Chalk Pretty Things. Let's chalk a pillow cover. I have this pillow cover that I got from Amazon, and it's not very soft. It's a little linen-y, and it also has a little bit of texture on it. And usually when we ink something, we want it not to have texture, but we're going to go ahead and try to ink it with this little heart pattern transfer that we have. I have used parts of this already, and you can tell I've kind of cut parts off to use on a different project, but I think I might end up either using these hearts not all together or cutting them apart. I'm not sure yet. But let's get started. Tonight's keyword is hearts, H-E-A-R-T-S. And as you hop on, go ahead and say hello. Let me know that you're watching. Tell me what you're having for dinner tonight. Dinner, always a good thing. Okay, we're going to be using ink tonight. Ink is our permanent solution to creating beautiful designs. And so I'm going to use this ink mat. The ink mat serves as a barrier. It goes inside your pillowcase. This one does have a zipper down here, so I'm going to put that at the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold this up a little bit. And let's just slide it in there and let's see how it fits. Actually, this one fits perfect, guys. Okay, so I'm thinking about this a little bit. The ink mat fits perfect. I want to smooth it down, so I'm smoothing out all the wrinkles out of my fabric. And see how it sticks and it kind of smooths it out a little bit. You want it smooth. I have my black ink, and that's all we're going to use today is black. Black on the pink. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see what I can do. I think I'm going to cut these apart just because I am working with ink and it is permanent, so I don't want to get any messes on anything unintentionally. So here's one. Here's two. So whenever you get a transfer, you definitely could cut these apart and do what you want. You can cut through the backer. If you want, you can cut through just the green, which is what I'm doing right now. And you can basically do what you want. I'm going to store these back on this backer when I'm done because we can reuse these a bunch of times. And so make sure that you keep that backer. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to cut this so that I keep the small hearts on it intact with the other hearts. So I am just going to kind of willy-nilly put my hearts on here. And I will repeat some down at the bottom as we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and really rub these on. I want to make sure that everything is flat around the silk screen so that my paste, or ink in this case, does not bleed. I also see a spot where it's really close. The transfer, if you can see, is really close. I cut it very close to where I have the cutting line and to the fabric. So I am going to just tape that off a little bit. Wow, that's really close. I'm going to tape that off because I know I'm just not that talented to get in there that close without going over. So this placement tape is just like a washi tape or a masking tape. Serves the same purpose. It just kind of blocks off areas that you don't want to use. And I think the rest of this is okay. This little heart is kind of, yeah, it's kind of wonky because it's the peanuts squiggles on there. But that is good. So I am going to add more. I'm going to go ahead and clean these up when I'm done, and we will add. I've got some in my lid. My ink is in my lid. I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And I'm probably going to go a little slower than I normally go with this ink because the ink can get where you don't want it really easily. And I'm not a perfect crafter, guys, so I'm going to go a little slower. Try to be more intentional. What are you guys up to today? I have been very busy. I've been trying to organize things, and I am putting together a sale on some of my finished goods. So I've been getting those pieces together, taking pictures, and trying to put them on my Whatnot page because I'm going to have a show on Thursday. So if you guys are available and you want to look at what I'm offering for sale, these are all crafts that I have created. Homemade decor. That would look great in anybody's living room and would also be good as a gift. So some of it is Valentine's. I have at least one Christmas piece. Some might be, every day. I just made a big mess right there. So that's going to be a flop against me. Maybe I could transform it into something else. That's one strike against me, guys. Some of this is very close to the edge, like I said. So I do have that blob right there. I'm going to kind of go over this one and just kind of remove some of the extra ink. Ink can be kind of messy, so just be careful. Take your time. This one's very close to the edge as well. So cutting them apart like I did may not have been the best solution, but I just didn't want to keep them in the format that they were laid out on the page. So that's why I cut them apart. But we'll see how this turns out. I kind of like the randomness of the pattern. I am just going to go ahead and paste this. Make sure I get the edges, but don't go over the edges of the hearts. Okay, we're doing good. This is quick, guys. Quick, but go slow so that you don't make messes like I tend to make messes. So once this is inked, it can be washed, it can be dried, and it will not flake, it will not crumble, it will not fade. It will look just like it is now every time you wash it. Paste would crumble. If I were to do this in paste, I could do it in paste because chances are I may not wash this, but when I fold it or put it away and store it, that chalk would probably crack when I fold it if it were paste. So that's why I'm using ink tonight. And to be honest with you guys, I'm probably just going to ink the design on tonight, and then tomorrow, after I let it sit and dry, I can heat set it and show you guys what it looks like stuffed in a pillow, and we'll see how the final project looks. Okay, we're on our last heart before I clean them and reposition some of these. I do have these small hearts, and maybe I can position one of these right next to that other area where I got messy and cover that up. We'll see. So guys, what colors do you use to decorate Valentine's with? This year, I'm really focused on the pink and the black and the white. Okay, we're gonna start pulling these off. But you can really do these in any color that you want. And as I pull these off, I'm gonna start spraying them with water just to get them cleaning. That looks good so far. I do have one spot that's, a couple spots. Okay, I do have a couple spots where I've gone over, so this is not going to be my premium product here. But we'll see what it looks like when we're done. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you being here. I like the company, and I like to give you guys ideas on what to do with some of these transfers, and ideas for gifts and for crafting, and also for ideas like for get-togethers. If you want to get your friends together and do a group project, this would be a great idea. Grandkids, I maybe wouldn't suggest the ink projects, but they love to do the chalk ones, the chalk paste. They love it. So once I get these cleaned up, I'm going to kind of make sure they're dry, and we can reposition these and use them somewhere else to fill up the pillow. So this one's probably ready. Whoops. That one's just kind of sliding like it's on ice. No ice here though. We have perfect weather today. Loving it. Went outside today and did a few things in the yard. And we have such a short window here in Arizona where it's really nice. Well, a couple months. But soon it'll be too hot, so I'm going to get all my outdoor chores done as quick as I can. Stuff like I need to go through some of my storage stuff outside. I need to clean my yard a little bit. Just stuff like that I like to get done while the month is good, while the weather is good. What months are good for you guys to go outside and work, plant, clean, organize? I know it's probably cold many places. For us, it's right now is the time. It's also the time for me to cut down some of my, well, probably in a week or two, like my bird of paradise bushes that I have that are beautiful in the summer. This is a good time to cut them down. Roses, it's a good time. I don't have roses, but it's a good time to cut back your roses here in Arizona because it's kind of the dormant time where it's the coolest. And then pretty soon it warms up. Pretty quickly it'll warm up. So make sure you clean these pretty good because you're going to stick them back down on your pillowcase cover. And you don't want them to transfer any ink to where you don't want it to be. So I can also use my board eraser, which is my best friend. It's like a sponge, like a magic eraser sponge without chemicals. You don't want to use chemicals on the back side of these. The adhesive is what makes it re-sticky, and it just kind of holds it to your fabric or your surface. So you want to make sure that you take good care of that. Okay. Okay, so here's a heart one. I think I can lay it right here. And I'm going to go ahead and mask that off again. Right here. And then this one was really pretty. Put it kind of opposite. And this one can go right here. I'll take off these two top ones. Let's clean those as well. And then we'll go ahead and ink the rest of them on. And we'll get our design completed. So when you guys are cleaning these, obviously there's holes in that mesh, that silk screen. So when you're cleaning them, the dirty water and that you're squirting on top, the water that you squirt on top will become dirty as it goes through the ink that you've put on there. And you want to make sure you get all that dirty water up and clean as you go because it just makes it work better. So I'm going to spray the back side of these. I'm going to use my board eraser. Whoops. Make sure it's all clean. This board eraser is just, it's like a miracle tool to me. Because I can have the messiest, blackest mess, and it just helps me get it under control and cleaned up. And this is a little wet today, so I don't want to slosh it all over on my pillow. Of course, I'm not going to know where these fit on the board, on the backer when I'm done, but I can work it like a puzzle. Let's see what I can do to get them back on the backer. Okay, those are clean. Let's finish up inking our design. I did need some tape right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this done. Now, when you have little mess ups with ink, They're not as easy to clean up as with paste because it's just a different texture. It doesn't scrape off really. And you're doing it on a textile, which is not a hard surface. So it doesn't clean up as well. But what I can do is perhaps disguise that big mess up here on the edge by chalking a little heart or inking a little heart over the top. And we'll see how that looks. I do have 2 more spots that I did kind of mess up on, but I think they're okay, that they'll pass the test of a pillow. They won't harm the pillow at all. They're subtle enough that I think they're okay. But like I said, with the ink, you do want to be, see, and I just dropped a little scoop right there. Little intentional with what you're doing. Get the edge. Okay. 1 more heart. I think I'll do the little heart next to it. And since this is a more bumpy surface, usually when you're using ink, you always want it to be smooth as possible so it won't run underneath and create a pathway for the ink to run. This did work out really well on this surface. I am surprised to say that it did not run on the ones I already have. I do have a little spot right here I want to get. And it's gone well. Now before you touch anything, you do want to make sure that your hands are clean, because that's where I end up transferring ink unintentionally. And I am really messy today. So make sure you get all the ink off of your fingers and your hands. I find ink in places where I didn't know I had it, so make sure you clean that up. Okay. Yeah, I got really messy this time. And black always does that to me. It always gets me. That black ink. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and lift these up. Looks great. Wonderful. And wonderful. I'll get these cleaned again. So this is the toughest part. My least favorite part is cleaning up black ink. But it's okay. It just seems like a lot when you take it off. And I'll show you my pillow in just a second. I did want to cover up that one spot. But I want to get these clean first. I always like to clean my transfers as soon as I can, especially with ink, because I really don't want to take any chances of getting that on my clothes. Although today it wouldn't matter because I'm wearing black. But clean it up as soon as you can. Know where that ink is so that you don't have to accidentally have it in places that you don't want it, because it is permanent. And rinse your sponge out in water if you can. I have a water bath over here, and it really helps to rinse that sponge out, especially when you're doing black. And then I'm going to dry this up. And to tell you the truth, I'll probably let these dry a little bit before I fully put them away. I do put them back on the backer. I do put them back in the plastic sleeve that they came in. But since I'm putting them back in an airtight plastic sleeve, I do want them to dry because I am going to reuse them again sometime. And I don't want them to be kind of moldy. Not that I've ever had that happen, but it could. Okay, so I have this little tiny heart. And I am just going to put it over here carefully because this other ink is probably still wet. And my squeegee is very messy. And so am I. I'm just going to make it even more messy right now. Okay. I'm actually going to get a smaller squeegee and kind of spread that around just a little bit. Because that squeegee was kind of large for the area. Okay, that looks better. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me wipe my hands up one more time. Then I will show you what we have. Like I said, I do like to clean up the ink as best I can as I go. Okay, so we have inked our pillow case. This is what it looks like. It's gonna look great when there's a pillow form in there. Okay, so this is it so far. I'm gonna let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow I will be back. I will show you how to heat press, and we'll see how it turns out once it has the pillowcase in it. Now, the pillow form in it. Now, I do have a little spot here. Not real noticeable. And a little spot up here, which isn't in here. But I don't think it affects the overall look of the pillow, so it looks pretty good. So that is our project today. Let me know if you have any other pillowcases or designs that you'd like for me to try. I'd love to do it. I'm here to give you guys ideas, and if you guys want to give me ideas, let's share. Feel free to share this video with anyone that you know loves crafting or needs to make a gift. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another fun project. And make sure you check out the Whatnot sale. There is a link on my post about it. What you need to do is you need to sign up for an account if you want to purchase. So look into that, see what you want to do. The sale is going to be Thursday. I'm going to have quite a few pieces, maybe 10, 15 pieces for sale. Things that I have created, including some of my newer stuff. So if you're interested in buying things, it's an auction type sale. So you bid on something and the highest bid wins. And it's going to go pretty fast because the time limit, I don't know how long the time limit will be, but it does go by pretty fast. So be prepared. Look at the items ahead of time. I'm still adding things every day. And if you want the links to this project and what I used, type in the word hearts, H-E-A-R-T-S. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.